Hey everyone, welcome back to Casil Confessions Podcast, where we speak freely, heal deeply. It's your host, Pretty and Demetria. As always, we hope everyone's feeling blessed and highly favored. Before we get started, just a big shout out to our sponsors, Storyblocks, Jordan Craig Apparels, Blue Chew, and one new sponsor. Big shout out to Kiara's Irresistible Desserts. Also, don't forget to follow our social media handles on Facebook at Casil Confessions Podcast and on IG, TikTok at Speak Freely, Heal Deeply. Before we get started, let's do a vibe check. How you feeling?
I'm tired. I'm not gonna lie, I'm tired. I know I look like death, y'all, but I had to work last night and I didn't get too much sleep. So, and this is a mental health podcast, so you're not always about to get the full face and the look. No, y'all get natural and relaxed today because I'm very relaxed.
She on bullshit,
and I just wanted. Is what I'm about to go to work in later on today. So just bear with me.
I wanted her to get that out, and so today we have a special guest. My stepdad is here. Shout out to Elieli Smith. I wanted him to kind of go ahead and tell his story for Men's Mental Health Awareness Month. Don't want to forget to shout that out. But Pop, you don't want to ask some questions?
Hold on. First of all, what vibe check? We didn't finish that. How you doing today?
You didn't even ask how I'm doing.
You didn't give me a chance to. You jumped on it.
All right,
how are you doing today?
He can edit that out, and when we go back and just do it. All right. So before we get started, we're gonna do a vibe check. How you feeling?
I'm tired, but I'm here. I had to work last night, and I got to work tonight. I'm in tonight, so work tired. Y'all gonna have to bear with me with the natural face. So, but how are you doing?
Natural face. I got my lip gloss and my eyes. And
girl, now you glowing. I look all dull and matte over here while you shining and glistening. Flick it this way.
Don't be hating.
I'm not. Flick it this way.
You. Shoot. The one I'm ugly. I'm used to being an ugly girl in the back of the class. So to those ones, that had to point that out.
I'm definitely the ugly one right now.
Yeah,
but it's all right though, because we're here.
Before we could continue our vibe check, I want to introduce a special guest. We have my stepdad. His name is Elieli Smith. I want to go ahead and introduce him and continue the vibe check and ask, how are you feeling today, Pop?
I'm feeling awesome. I feel like I got a lot to let go.
Okay. Just awesome.
Hell yeah, let's hear that shit.
This is the place to go ahead and let that shit out.
In the mindset, I feel like, also as you speak on mental health.
Yeah. It is Men's Mental Health Awareness Month, so definitely want to recognize that and shout out to the men.
You're actually giving a portal right now.
Yeah. Thank you. Ain't nobody gonna ask. Well, I'm doing good today. Ain't nobody. How you doing, Freddie? I'm doing good. I'm
that was coming. Don't
blessed,
do that.
highly favored.
Don't do
that. I'm still trying
beautiful
to
as always.
What's going on with me right now?
Yeah. So, just tell the viewers a little bit about yourself. Like, a little bit about you, where you grew up. Just, a little bit on your background.
Originally, I come from North New Jersey. Lived 27 years of my life. Thank God, leaving out without a felony.
Yeah.
Originally grew up North New Jersey in Mount Pleasant, Clark, which was originally a nice place to actually grow up. Originally living with one parent. Mom started raising me on until I was 6 years old. Between that time.
And this was your birth mom?
Yeah, it's my birth mother.
Okay.
And never got to meet my father. He passed away about time when I was about 3 years old. And, I think it had a real impact on my mom. She was working real hard, college, stuff of that nature. After, being rejected from my father, he was actually married.
Okay.
So, living with that on her mindset, raising a child, it caused her to, go into a different mindset of living her life. She became a woman of the streets.
Yeah.
Instead of wanting to be, continuing her schooling and stuff of that nature and bettering herself, she had a habit. You know, started using drugs, stuff of that nature. And I really was freely to run around the streets, probably age 4 or 5 years old.
God, I can't.
Yeah, like, you know, it's hard to imagine.
Yeah, I got babies that age. I can't imagine. They still watching Bluey and SpongeBob. I can't imagine them out on the street.
Yeah.
Like,
I used to go.
and you doing big boy things.
Yeah, I mean, she tried her best to keep me in the house, double locks, double side locks, regardless of what it was.
So even though she had an addiction, she still did what she felt was the best thing to make sure her boy was good.
Yeah.
You know, securing the house and just.
Yeah, but you know, I witnessed many of things, which was like, you know, seeing her, you know, being, you know, under the influence of her drugs and finding her in the bathroom unresponsive, you know, stuff of that. Growing up, you know, it didn't dawn on me or understand that, you know, until once I got older, I understood. But I mean, I had to grow up earlier than.
I think at that age when you see something like that, you just think all you know is just mommy's not okay, something's wrong, and I need her to get better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was more so that I understood what drugs were early. I understood what, you know, guns were. I understood what, you know, people being killed early.
Yeah.
You know, by the age of 6, I say the first time I've been pistol whipped. You know,
Knowing all this at such an early age, like, how did that affect you, like, growing up? Because, like, I mean, of course, I grew up in the hood, too, but I wasn't around, like, my mom really did shield me from drugs and alcohol and guns and stuff like that. Like, the fact that you grew up with it, like, how did that affect you? How did that affect your childhood? Because I know that changed you in a way.
like I said, my childhood, it also wasn't a childhood. You know, I didn't have those benefits of, you know, knowing that I can go home or knowing that I'm home going to school. I got left back in first grade because I didn't attend school. You know, I didn't have the nourishing at that time. You know, I used to. My first job, I say, was about 5 years old. I used to go bagging. I used to walk from Newark, say 9th Street, 6th Ave, all the way to East Orange to go to ShopRite.
Okay, so I'm not from up there. I don't know the way. So, like,
That's like walking from Asheboro to Greensboro.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
So I would do that with some other kids that were a couple of them much more older than me. But we'll go there, bag up groceries, you know, and get money. Me, I used to get a lot more because I was a younger kid and they felt bad for me.
Of course, because I mean, what the fuck are you doing outside on the... I mean, I know and I understand, you know, but of course, just... If I'm outside driving, that's the first thing that will pop in my head.
Yeah,
like, what the fuck? Yeah, you know, and yes, and of course, I'm going to be willing to try to give you whatever I can. So that's clever, but damn.
How often did y'all get stopped while y'all walking? Because I know people had to see all y'all kids and be like, "What?" Like she just said, "What the hell are they doing?"
Yeah.
Nobody ever
like
stopped and checked on y'all.
Newark, New Jersey is a different type of different type of breed.
Oh God!
Like you know, if you got caught up with like DIFUS or something like that, if somebody called, you know, it was normal. My age in the early 90s, you know, we're talking about 91, 90, you know, 90 or early 89.
I was still my daddy pee.
You know, you know.
I wasn't even.
I'm sorry. I was born in 93.
You know, early 90s, I was running the streets and, you know, I would go get my money, go next door. There was a video game, plus it was a biller where they played pool and stuff like that. Go over there and play my Martha versus Godzilla, you know. Enjoy myself playing my video games because I earned my money.
Yeah,
you know, go to the hot dog truck, get me a couple of hot dogs before I go upstairs, go home. You know, and then you know my mom's lifestyle. You know, she wasn't. You know, like I said, she was a woman of the night.
Yeah.
You know, and sometimes you know I would sit here not know what I was doing, but I've seen it in movies, and it's like, oh snap, the hell they doing this movie about me or something?
Yeah.
I would literally go and I would take money out these dudes' wallets, you know, and come home and not understand why my mom's got a black
That
eye.
alters your perspective of reality for
You know,
sure.
Oh yeah.
You know, and you know, it came to a point. Actually, one time I actually beat somebody with a broomstick because he put his hands on my mom. You know, like I said, my mom was woman of the night,
Yeah.
and that lifestyle.
And all you know is to protect
Yeah.
mommy.
That's crazy, yeah, because your mama's supposed to protect you, especially at that early of an age, and the fact that you had to step up and be an adult and protect your mom. Like I couldn't imagine the stress and the toll for real on a child. That's a lot.
Yeah, but it just built me more in that mindset of survival.
Yeah.
You know, my mom came to a point where she's like, I can't take care of you no more. You know, and I got to meet my foster family. You know, it wasn't going through the system. I didn't go through foster homes. It was a good friend of hers.
That's a
That's
blessing.
what's up. Yeah,
That's
that
a
is
blessing.
a blessing.
And you know, they took care of me. It was a Spanish family, Puerto Rican. You know, Mama Rosa.
Shout out to Mama Rosa.
And
Love
Father
you.
Wilson. You know, they took me in. Say by the age of 8, I learned how to speak Spanish. So they took me in at 7. By the age of 8, I learned 7. I mean, I learned Spanish. So
Oh yeah, they put it on you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she was with that chiclete.
Oh, goodness.
I bet she was.
She put it on you.
Only a year?
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and that's the greatest thing I've ever, you know, that's the greatest thing I've ever had, and that's the greatest achievement that I think in life that I've had, to be able to have 2 languages, you know.
Oh yeah.
It gives a lot, you know.
I took French, and now I'm mad that I didn't take Spanish because it's like, what the fuck you gonna do with French? Like,
See,
you ain't going to Paris
right.
anytime soon. Like,
Bitch says bonjour. Where you
you know what I'm saying? No, I was trying to be all grown and stuff. Like, they were like, French is the language of love. So I'm about to be all sexy when I'm talking to my man ear. Like, man, I don't even use that stuff. Don't even
Yeah.
work. You know what I'm saying? They like hearing Poppy more than anything. Shoot, I might as well I should have just took Spanish. Shoot.
Damn.
Yeah, man, and it's great. It's the greatest thing. I mean, me and my friends used to set people up. You know,
Well, hold on, what you mean set people
Right.
up?
What you,
Like,
yeah, like what you mean?
so calm and smooth. We used to set
Yeah.
He
people
said it's
up.
so casual.
Yeah.
yeah, me and my boy Danny, we used to set people up. I'd tell them, you know, he'd go where the Spanish people were at, and I'm sitting there eating, you know, and he'd be like, damn, Spanish just say to them, oh, look at that black guy. He's over there eating all that food, like, and then they'll go out here, he'd give him the opportunity to go, and then they start putting their 2 cents in, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, that big old greedy black guy over there, he sitting there eating all that food, enough for 3 people, you know?
Yeah.
And then I respond in Spanish to him, like, oh, you want a little bit?
Like, damn.
Oh, you speak Spanish?
I told you a couple weeks ago.
I forgot
The
about
drunk
that.
guy on the bike came to my house and he was sitting there. The guy was the Hispanic guy. He was talking in English, but my dad was talking in Spanish to him. And then, like after a good 5 minutes, the guy looked and realized he was like, "Oh, you talking Spanish?" He was like, "Yeah, I'm talking in Spanish."
Yeah.
But the guy was so drunk he didn't realize that my dad was talking in Spanish and he's talking in English. Like it's supposed to be
The other
reversed.
way, yeah.
He was answering me in English as I was talking to him in Spanish. And it was just weird because he was just like, he was just kept going. He kept going. And it was just like, he just paused. It was like she said, but he actually physically, like a jump. He had to jump back. Like, oh, I was like, yeah.
So how did that affect you growing up bilingual?
It's a beautiful thing. Because it's like, once you get it, you have an accent.
All right, say something for us right now. Teach us what.
I need to hear a full sentence.
Give him something to say.
Don't hit me.
Something to say. Something.
Shit, I don't know why you put me on the spot like this.
Give him something to say. Come on, we need a lesson real quick.
Oh, it's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. Bam. Mr. Rogers, your ass.
Oh. La dia es más bonita.
Like,
Oh, that wasn't long enough.
La
Fuck
dia
that
es
song.
bonita in la neighborhood. I mean, see, neighborhood. Because that's one thing I'm
what's the wave? Say that. What's the wave?
Say your name and your favorite color, like all together. Like my name is Demetria. My favorite color is red. Like do that, but your name and favorite color. Like I need to hear a full sentence.
Okay. Mi nombre es Elieli y mi favor color es azul.
Okay. Okay. So let me bring it back to the intro just for a second. Now that you had just said that, so your name is Eli.
Mm-hmm.
What does that mean?
My God.
And what's your full name? What does your full name mean?
My full name is Eli Lamafrad, which stands for my God shall not forsaken me.
Amen.
Oh, that is beautiful.
Amen. I like that.
Yeah, I don't know what was going on. I really don't. A lot of people say, is it a hyphen or something like that? I said sometimes I guess during the birth it was that bad.
Nah,
my mom said,
God knew it, yeah.
Eli,
Yeah.
or she was saying, my God.
And he knew what he was doing. Amen. Oh my God.
That's what's up, though. I like that.
Okay, so fast forwarding it, being bilingual. How does that affect you? Like, basically, so now you have two families. You have your mom, your biological mom, and then you have Mama Rosa. How does that affect you? Like going from there, now you have brothers and sisters, or
Yeah, I
people know?
I got one brother, my first brother, which is from my mom, my real mom, and he's now in the Navy.
Okay.
So married and in the Navy.
Okay.
So that's a great thing. And then the thing about that was through the foster care, they made sure I kept up with him.
Yeah.
Because he was born about the time I was about probably 14, 15. And
so he went through foster care. But your mom was able to go about it to where as though you avoided that. That's a blessing.
Why wasn't he able to come with you? There's probably issues. But,
yeah.
Yeah.
But do you know why he wasn't able to come with you?
No, because he was able to go to his family.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
So one of his family members were able to take him.
Okay.
So, like, did you teach your kids to be bilingual growing up? Like, did you give them Spanish lessons to teach them to be bilingual?
Well, I tried.
About to say, Pretty, why you don't be speaking no Spanish?
Look, I'm trying to be so neutral right now.
Why you don't speak
I'm trying to let this man tell his story and act just
He don't be teaching Spanish.
Calm down, mommy.
That.
I know a little bit. I know just enough.
Say it again.
Shit, it's not about me right now. Okay?
Nah, bro.
I know you ain't complaining about when she burning.
What?
Yeah.
What? Her back big.
My back, man.
She called me yesterday talking about, so what you cooking for dinner? I'm not cooking nothing for dinner tonight.
It was sad.
Putting fish sticks in the oven. That's what and macaroni and cheese.
She ain't saved me 5 of them.
And then she got so hyped about that this morning. Oh, that sounds so good right now.
Yo, like
it's just 7 o'clock in the morning and you talking about.
I had a nostalgic moment because when my mom used to buy the box fish sticks for us when we were kids, she always made homemade tartar sauce, and I was like, bitch, I ain't care that it was fish sticks, because I know I'm getting that homemade tartar sauce to eat with it, and we lathering that shit in it. So when she said that, it was just like, and I'm in the line at Biscuitville getting breakfast too, and all I can think about is some fish sticks.
And it's the real ones, like the actual fish, like that shit.
Bro, we ain't friends. What you cooking tonight?
You not getting rid of me, first of all.
What you cooking?
Secondly, I don't know.
I'm coming back to your house.
I'm debating about going to the fish
It's my
market.
dad too, y'all. They took me in. When I tell you this man fed me good, he was like, "Do you eat this?" I was like, "Yeah." On the
Man, what?
On the plate. You know whose house I'm going
Mama
to for
sure
Father's Day?
can't eat.
You know whose house I'm going to for Father's Day? Who getting a present from me?
Got to. I'm gonna
miss Mother's Day, but I got to get Mama right too, because honey, I couldn't breathe. By the time I left, I could not breathe.
So tell us a little bit more about tell us about your adult life now though. What's it like? Are you married?
Yeah, marriage it's
Why you saying like marriage?
Hold on now, that's her mama. Be careful what you say.
You know she leaning. She leaning in right now. Watch.
Yeah.
Careful.
Be
I love you,
easy.
baby. I love you. You're the greatest. You're the greatest.
But marriage
Better
is
say.
but marriage is marriage.
Yeah, you know,
Yeah.
you know, it got its up and downs, but it's just more so. It's more so about, you know, the sacrifices. You know, yeah, I'm married going on 20, 21, 22. I don't want to get this wrong. 22 years.
Ooh, boy, you better not.
But you guys been together way longer than that.
Yeah.
How did you meet?
Oh.
I love asking this question.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hot seat.
Hot seat. Yeah. Yeah, when I was younger, we was sitting out there hanging out in front of my house on Mount Pleasant. And
Just hanging out or
Yeah, I was just hanging out with my
thugging?
homie. Yeah, you know.
Hanging out.
You was thugging.
I ain't got much to say.
I plead the
much to
fifth.
say about that. But you know, me and my homie sitting there enjoying our day, and happened this yellow Penske truck pulled up.
Are you moving?
Huh?
He was moving? You see a yellow Penske truck?
Yeah, this yellow Penske truck pulled up. And somebody said, "Hey, bro, I need help moving." And bro said, "I'll help you." Someone turned around and said, "Who's that?" Yeah, that's my little homie. Can he come? Can he come help us move? I was like, "Oh, nah, he'll help us. He'll come help us move." I was like, "Okay, you know, I'll come help." You know, that's big homie. Then sit there, help move the stuff out. So weirdly, damn Chinese store got robbed while we was moving out. Yeah, that was Chinese store was moving out of 18th Avenue.
So you met her moving?
Huh?
So you met her moving?
Why you was robbing the Chinese store?
No, I wasn't robbing the Chinese store.
He said plead the fifth. He wasn't robbing no Chinese stuff. He was outside chilling and things was happening and Penske truck pulled up and he helped somebody allegedly move something. So
Move her furniture out the house, then move their stuff. We on Oriental Street.
okay.
And helped move and stuff.
How many kids is it in total? I know, but just for my viewers.
Yeah. 6 children. My wife had 6 children.
When y'all got together, she had 6.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
we
you
all
a good
together.
man.
Yeah. And how old was you?
18,
And how old was she?
27.
Hold on, I'm stuck on the 18 playing stepdad to 6 kids. Baby, you is a kid.
Yeah, like how does your mind how mentally how do you
Hold on,
been
pause.
doing this.
Hold on. I need to know how old. If we were 18. What's the age difference between you and the oldest kid?
9?
9.
Okay, it's a big enough gap because I ain't know what hell I'm about to call somebody my stepdaddy. They sitting right there with me. Hell,
I'm the oldest of everybody.
I'll be like, "What's up, Eli?" Not know what's up, stepdaddy.
But you know what? I was raised with respect. So the way I came about it, I'm like, I'm not about
What
to
up,
call him
Eli?
by his first name. So I call him Pops because I'm like, that's Pops. You feel me?
I came
I
in
love
and I
y'all's
said,
relationship, though.
I don't know.
Because that's my dad, but he's like an older brother as well. Like that's my best
Is my
friend.
language?
So
Is it with language?
Oh no, you straight. You straight.
Straight, yeah. You know, I came in the house. I say, y'all ain't gotta call me
this,
daddy.
Yeah.
Y'all can call me motherfucker if y'all want to.
Yeah.
Just, you know.
And again, like I said, I was raised with respect, so I'm not going to call him by his first name.
No, I just had to ask because I know people that's like they're dating people that's like 2-3 years older than their child. You know what I'm saying?
No.
Like, I couldn't
On some
date
creep shit.
Yeah, I couldn't date somebody and that they be that close to my child's age.
Yeah.
I just feel like that's weird because you're pretty much dating your kid. You know what I'm saying?
You know what? But that's the thing. He was always just he was like a big kid.
He still
like
is.
you
What
said,
you
he was a
mean?
big kid.
He
Always
still
sitting there. We
is.
was like, whenever he wasn't at work, whenever he came home, he either sitting there cooking or literally playing a video game.
Yeah.
Like he's the reason why I'm a gameaholic. Like when you coming in the house, I'm always sitting there just on Call of Duty. Like a big
You
kid.
still gotta put me on, bro. I got you. I ain't got no hand coordination. The gun be going.
I
I
got
need
you.
help, bro. I need help. Struggling.
Oh man.
Man, but it was the greatest thing because, you know, I fell in love with my wife, you know, and then I got to fall in love with my children, you know, and then actually get to see them grow, you know.
So how many kids are all together? You said she had 6.
Then I had my 6.
Hold on.
So it's 12.
12. I had 12 children, 10 living. Me and my wife lost 2 girls.
Damn.
Yeah.
Y'all got the whole football team.
Eliana.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know y'all has to be packed for Christmas. I'm still coming. I don't care.
Shit, yeah, we eat good. Real good.
You said you got 12 kids. You got 13. Lucky number 13, baby.
Just proud too. Just
Make sure my plate's sitting there ready.
aggravating.
I swear.
Yeah. But those issues, those things, those moments that me and my wife went through with losing 2 girls. The first one was because of SIDS. And those are real deep moments where either, like I said, when you talk about mental health, something like that is either fight or flight.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
I'm a little slow. What is SIDS? Like, I don't have kids.
Sudden infant death. It's when the I believe a newborn baby is at risk for sudden infant death between birth and I believe 3 months is they're at high risk. Nothing really causes this. They just stop breathing. I mean, because you know, as a baby, you know, we're learning. We're learning everything. So when we go to sleep, we stop breathing. And as a baby, they don't know to, you know, start breathing.
Yeah.
You know, so that's you know, and that's why they're at risk between birth and 3 months.
Okay.
After 3 months, you kind of good. But me personally, with experience losing a sibling to SIDS, I mean, again, when like you said, when you talk about mental health, it caused me to like I watch my babies when they're breathing.
Yeah.
I mean, when they're sleeping, and sometimes they're so content when they're sleeping. You know how when you don't see nobody, you don't see their body moving. I sit there and tap them and shake the yeah.
it's the truth. It's the truth.
Is that why they say don't lay babies on their stomach when they sleep?
Yeah, and keep the blankets out of the playpen or crib. Well, definitely, and no teddy bears, all that little cute stuff.
Yeah.
It's cute, but it is extremely dangerous. So definitely keep it away from the baby. All the baby need is they don't even. I mean, them laying flat isn't really a problem. You don't want no pillow in there or anything.
Okay.
It's just more so just kind of keeping an eye on them, and it's not anything that you can do. Like it's really a natural death.
Yeah.
Like I said, the brain, when we fall asleep, we stop breathing, and sometimes the babies, they just don't.
Yeah.
You know.
Is that they caused that to, you know, my next daughter after her, Eliandria, they had to have a monitor on her to check her heart, her breathing, and stuff like that. It was when she came home.
That alarm was something serious.
Yeah.
So where was when you lost your first kid and y'all went to go try for your next, like, where was your headspace then? Like, how long did it take for y'all to actually want to try for another kid? Like, did y'all even want to try, or was it just like she just popped up pregnant type situation?
Yeah. Well, literally, it was like right behind each other. Like, my daughter passed away 3 months, which she was in January.
Mm-hmm.
And my other daughter was conceived in February. So my next daughter was the October baby. So she was conceived in February, which was the next one after my daughter passed away.
Y'all was getting it in. I'm sorry, I had to say it because I was getting it in.
But did you feel like you were ready?
Yeah, I
Or-
wasn't. I wasn't mentally. I didn't know
How did you handle that?
because it was just a fear of repeating the same thing.
Yeah.
You know, loving.
Did that baby make that? The baby after that made it though. Okay.
Yes. That's
That's the thug. She
Okay.
Yeah, she good.
but the thing, my next baby, she was what, 11 pounds 6 ounces.
11 pounds. Oh Jesus!
And born
I
premature.
know that.
Yeah, 5 weeks premature.
She was big as hell. She looked like she was already 3 months.
Premature and she 11 pounds.
Yeah.
How does that work?
Like a little sumo baby.
It has to do with diabetic when you diabetes
Yeah.
pregnancy.
Jesus. I hope your mama had a C-section.
Yeah,
Oh wow! So when you're diabetic during a pregnancy, it causes the baby to be bigger.
Yeah, because the baby have a higher rate of growing.
Never knew that.
Me either.
Fun fact. Crazy.
There's something new every day.
There's a lot of things that, it was in my mindset that after a while I came to mind that before, because my daughter that passed away, she had a twin. She was supposed to be a twin. And she ended up eating or taking
Consuming.
consuming. Yeah,
She said consuming, eating, same thing.
consuming the
It just sounds less gory. Just she eating. Then she ate the other one in the womb. Like, oh shit! What kind of kids you having? Damn savages!
Oh my God.
You grew up with them.
Like I said, I'm trying to
One of
be
the savages.
neutral.
So what are you saying?
Look, I'm trying to be incognito. I don't know nothing
Nah,
about
bruh.
what's going on. May the show go on.
Yeah. So she had consumed her other sibling, and she came out and lived for about 3 months and passed. But my daughter came out 11 pounds 6 ounces, which is bigger than twins. So in my mindset, it was like a rebirth. Like,
Yeah.
it was like she came back.
Yeah.
It was a blessing.
It was.
It was a blessing.
Yeah, because my daughter right now, I say my daughter, but she prefers me to say Maverick.
Yeah, Maverick. Transitioning. Shout out to Maverick.
Yeah, greatest one.
Yeah.
I feel like that's
Oh, that's the one that came up with the two
Yeah.
goth-looking chicks.
Yeah.
These little girls with some little bad
Bomb, ain't
They
it?
were bad.
Bomb. I'm telling you, a whole vibe.
Pants. I still want the pants. I'm gonna find them things. Honey.
Whole vibe. So with that, so while we talking about raising kids, so of course 1 out of 12 is autistic. What is it like raising a child with autism? How does that affect you?
it's like sitting there having a prayer. You pray to God and say prayer. Your prayer is, God, give me patience.
Yes.
And then you got my daughter. Because if you don't have patience, there's no way in the world you're going to get anything done.
Amen. Amen. And I ask that because that's how I feel about Sayapur. I have a son that's autistic, and patience. He teaches me so much patience. I'm ready to just be here on 1,000. And with him, it's like, how can you be mad or upset? And he's just always in good spirits. He's always just ready to give love, hugs. I mean, even if he sits here and he have a bad day, Red, he'll sit here. He could sit here and flip all the shit over, and then he'll come over and be like, I'm sorry.
Girl, you know I be at your house almost every day.
Like, girl. And it's love. It's love. It's
It took
true
him a while
patience.
for him to actually let me.
He mean as hell.
Like all the rest of the kids, when I started coming over hanging out with Pretty, hey Red, I'll be like, Si, can I have a hug? He just sit there. Now I'll be like, Si, can I have a hug? He'll just come up. He won't hug me, but he'll just come up to me and just let me wrap my arms around him.
Stomach out and everything.
I got you now, but I got you.
But my daughter got to raise her from 4 years old to now she's 26 years old. And man, she has her own mindset, her own character. She is like I said, on another level. Like you can't tell her nothing.
Day that girl,
Her
period.
biggest thing is I don't care.
Mm-hmm.
You know, she, like I said, she likes to match. She loves her clothes to match. She loves watching her Maury.
She messy. Deja is messy, okay?
Maury.
Deja is messy. She will sit there and watch Maury on mute. Don't like, he not the daddy. You can't hear shit. And you
Oh my
messy as
God.
hell.
That is terrible.
It's like, I told you. Dang, you
Oh,
messy.
don't cry.
Don't cry. While the cameraman running around, don't cry.
I hate that. What you running to the back for?
Don't be sad.
They ain't messy, but you gotta love her.
That
You
is too
gotta love
funny.
her.
That is too funny, yo.
Either that or her Karamo.
I love so Karamo. I was watching that before I came here.
What is that?
Karamo.
What is that?
He
That just made me
messy.
hungry.
Karamo is not messy.
I'm sorry. He tells
fellow
you,
Scorpio. I love me some Karamo. Okay, he not messy. He gonna get to the bottom of it. Okay,
Like some Japanese food.
I'm sorry. Every time he say I'm not messy, he about to get messy.
What is this?
Karamo is he like the Black Steve Wilkos.
Yeah,
You could watch.
I ain't never seen that before. His
yeah.
name just made me think of food for some
I'm
reason.
gonna send you some. I'm gonna send you some of the good episodes because you know how some episodes just be like, eh. But I got you. I'm gonna
I
send
don't
you
really
some.
like Steve Wilkos. I feel like he did too much once he left Jerry Springer. They should just stay. He should just stay his big bald head as a security guard on there.
Don't be like that. I like
Should
Steve.
have.
I like it when he gets on people that really did some like foul stuff, like sex offenders, stuff like that. Niggas lying about some shit.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But it's just some of them episodes. I just be like, bro, you look better as a security guard.
This girl
You
here.
look better as a security guard.
Damn hormones. You get on my nerve. So
Love me though.
I do, and I will never deny it. So what's the most important thing you've learned about yourself throughout all these experiences?
I've learned is that sacrifice. It's a big thing.
That's a deep word.
You know, I love my family. I love everybody. But sacrifice for others, if you're willing to sacrifice for others, especially the ones that you love, it gets you a long way.
Yeah.
You know, and you got to be loyal about it. You know, you can't fake that, because when you fake it, you be around it doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
You know, and I got to live my life by that, because I started out with nobody.
Mm-hmm.
No, I can't say nobody. I have a mom.
Yeah.
But the circle didn't make sense.
The circumstances were just like, in the beginning, you probably felt like the odds were truly against you. But if you think about it, like you said, your name, the story you tell, just your whole testimony, like God, he knew what he was doing. He had a plan. He knew what he was doing, because now you married for 20 plus years. You guys been together for longer than that, and you have 12 kids. You know, God rest the two that aren't here, but you sound blessed.
How many kids?
13.
Thank you.
13.
Thought I wasn't gonna catch that.
13.
What you think this is?
If you pushing that up, it's going to be 14. 'Cause I got a child that's in Jersey now. You know?
I don't care as long as you include me as the 13th.
God.
I'm the
First of
lucky
all,
13.
look, all y'all niggas
Yeah.
just coming out the woodwork,
Well,
like
you should have. I told you what happened when they fed me.
word. Cause look, I'm gonna record her one day while
Please,
she
no, she
eating for behind the scenes, because
I throw down.
that plate was layered, like.
And I was loving all of it. I had my gut out,
Stop
yo.
playing.
What's something that gives you motivation?
My children.
Yes.
My children. Like I said, without my children, I had a moment where I went through it. My children took it from me. You know, that really actually tore me apart.
Yeah.
Like I said, my city where I come from, they would have gave me a trophy. You know, on taking care of my children and how I'm keeping up with them and trying to keep them off the streets. And
You guys are great parents.
you know, it felt like the cards were against me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got a question. Like, this whole time you've been talking about sacrifice and your family and your children. When is the last time that you did something for you? When is the last time that you've been
Yeah, you
selfish
talking about
and worried
everyone
about
else.
yourself? Like, you talk about sacrificing and being there for other people, but when is the last time you've actually been there for yourself?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the biggest question, and that's one of the things that I want a lot of people to know that, you got to learn to love yourself before you be able to help others. You know, sometimes people get stuck in that mindset that I got to help, I got to help, I got to help, I got to help.
So, what having 12 kids? How did you find time to make? How did you find time to make time for yourself?
He don't.
See, no, you
He
need.
doesn't make time for himself.
yourself.
Being real, because we are real here.
Yeah.
Man, either you got a park across the street from your house. You better go get your ass on that swing and go chill.
And that's what I tell him all the time. He's always in
Go
the
for a
house.
walk,
He's
yeah.
he's always
Time
there
for
for everyone
yourself.
else, being real encouraging, but he's always in the house. That's why I go over there. I try to get him out. I have a beach trip planned for the family, and we're gonna be the fuck outside this summer.
We outside.
Because
Catch me outside. How
he,
about that?
he doesn't.
I felt it comes to a point where, like you said, mental health.
Yeah, but y'all need a trip with no kids.
Like I said,
Yeah, but you know,
I
it's not even
you talking about a family trip. but
him
needs
and my
time
mom
away from kids.
Yeah, him and my mom needs to go ahead and just dip off.
Yeah,
Like,
you need time to just y'all two, and not even honestly. You need. You need time to you.
Yeah.
Not time to y'all two. You need time for
Yeah,
yourself.
you do.
You need to find time for yourself, because literally this whole time you've been talking about doing for other people, and I
Yeah.
love y'all's relationship, you and your wife's relationship. I love
But
this
he- yeah.
but you need time for yourself.
Yeah.
I don't like at least an hour out of the day, just even if it's 5 minutes, just to breathe.
A
Just
walk around the
Yeah.
block to yourself. Leave your phone at the house. Turn it on do not disturb or something. But like a couple of minutes for you throughout the day. You need that.
but if they even talk about the time myself, I play so much damn War Robots.
That's you playing the game on the phone. That's you playing the game on the phone. But what's a piece of advice you could give our listeners before we go?
You never get caught up with everybody's vibe. You got to understand your flow, the way you work. Don't let nobody influence your decisions in life. You got to always follow that path and try to find answers. If you don't try to, find the answers to the way in life, to the questions that you have, that's really the basic things that we live here for. Find the answers and be able to pass on the knowledge to others.
Yeah.
Like I said, I remember my father-in-law telling me that. He said, once my job is done, it's time for me to go.
Rest in peace, Charlie Gang. I love my grandfather. That was the first love of my life. That's a whole nother episode. But if you made it this far, I just want to take a moment to thank you for listening to Casil Confessions podcast, where we speak freely, healing deeply, with your host, Pretty.
and Demetria.
As always, don't forget to follow our social media handles on Facebook at Casil Confessions Podcast and Instagram and TikTok, Speak Freely, Heal Deeply. Again, big shout out to our sponsors, Story Blocks, Jordan Craig Apparels, Blue Chew, and Kiera Irresistible Desserts. Well, that's all for now. Until next time.